Hi everybody, I'm Emanuela Paciotti from POLI.design, and today I will be moderating the presentation of the Specializing Master in Fashion Tech. Please feel free to use the chat to submit any questions you may have, which we will address in the second part of the session. Now let me introduce the faculty, the speakers, Susanna Testa and Mattia Bidoli.
Thank you very much, Emanuela, and welcome you all. We're very pleased to have you here to attend this open day related to the Master in Fashion Tech. So we are very pleased to say that we are now having the 6th edition of this current Master, and we are now approaching the 7th edition. So it's been now quite some years that we are promoting and investing on talents within this specific field. The faculty, so as Emanuela was introducing, I am the didactic coordinator of the Master, supporting both students as well as professors and professionals being active within the Master. We have here the honor and the pleasure to have Mattia Bidoli, who is our tutor at the Master and also one of our former students from last year. This is for us a great pleasure because he knows also all the different difficulties the students may have and also is very good at supporting students within the different activities, both in terms of operational tasks as well as actual contents. Of course, we have our directors. We have our scientific director, who is Professor Alba Cappellieri, that is a full professor at the design school and the design department of Politecnico di Milano, and our technical director, Professor Maurizio Botti, who is a researcher, a professional working in the field of sportswear, activewear, and also textile, with a very long experience within the field. Here we have an overview on our master, on our goals. So as you might have maybe discovered going through the website, our aim is really addressing innovation for the field of fashion. We are doing so discovering and moving into different paths related to the field. So together, let's say, the field of sportswear, the one of activewear, as well as everything that is related to new technologies, new materials, and also textile. Of course, as you might understand, the field of fashion is trying as much as possible to be sustainable, together of being, of course, innovative, and of course sustainability is also one of our core pillars within the Master, both in terms of theoretical lectures as well as activities, hands-on activities related to the workshops. So what we are trying to do also, as much as possible, the overall aim and goal of the Master was really bridging the requirements of the companies in the field of fashion in terms of innovation and in terms of talents with our students taking part of the Master itself. So what you will discover in the next phases of the presentation will be that we are trying as much as possible to keep the Master evolving within the fashion system, as well as trying to bridge the actual content of the Master and the actual challenges with the company's challenges and the company's requests. When is it going to start? It's going to start in October. We have a limited amount of seats, and in particular 25, and this is because we are trying as much as possible to customize the relationship and the didactic to each and every one of our students. So for us, it's very important to keep the classes small in order to have a very personal relationship with our students taking part to the Master. Where is it? It's going to be here in Milan, at our campus in Via Candiani, and it's 1,500 hours long. So as I was already telling you before, what we are trying to do with this master is really replying to the challenges that the fashion system is addressing us. So just to give you an overview on our structure, you will see that we have a division of the different modules of our calendar divided into 5 main different parts. So we have a preliminary part that is dedicated to the theory. In particular, we dig into the different topics related to innovations, from new materials and new technologies. We dig the topics related to smart textiles and wearable devices, as well as everything related to artificial intelligence and augmented reality. And everything that I was already mentioning before that is super important to us, that are all the different aspects related to sustainability and circular economy. After this part, we have a phase that is dedicated to the tools, as we welcome students coming from different kinds of backgrounds, both in terms of let's say skills, technical skills, but also from different kinds of schools. It's very important for us that we kind of develop a common language in order for our students to be able to then cope with the different challenges related to the workshops. So, as I was saying, the second phase is about developing the skills related to the tools. So we have a part, some lessons dedicated to the digital modeling, a part that is specifically vertical on graphics, in order for students to be able to present their projects, and also a part that is dedicated to photography and communication. Then we have the third part that is instead dedicated to, let's say, the core of our master, that is the one related to the design workshops. Each and every workshop is coupled with one or more companies coming from the field, and each and every year the company is different, and each and every year the challenges are different, of course according to what is happening in our sector. Usually they are like 2 weeks and a half long, and we try to have different kind of tasks and different kind of challenges, also for students to work individually and also in team. Of course, as we are addressing topics that are very complex in terms of knowledge, in terms of competences and topics addressed, it is important for us that students are also able to cope and coordinate with other students in order to also put it into practice a sort of a situation that might be similar to the one that is going to be happening in the work sphere. Then we have a final phase that is related to a phase oriented to the personal branding and the CV and portfolio development. And then lastly, the last phase of the master is dedicated to the curricular internship for, let's say, our student. And in that case, of course, it's going to be different according to each and every student. We will have a one-to-one interview in order to understand what are let's say the skills, but also the preferences of each and every student in order to find the most suitable situation in terms of companies for them to be working with. What are our professional outcomes? Of course, as we are touching different kinds of phases, also according to the value chain of the fashion system, and also since we are welcoming students from different backgrounds, we are covering, in terms of placement, different kinds of areas. And this, of course, is really very much due to then the will of each and every student. So we cover, for example, professional related to the field of research and development, or the one more related to creativity and the style office, or to, let's say, the phase of production. So of course, regarding the research and development, we have professional figures that are related to, for example, material technologies and textile research, or technicians, as well as the ones more related to the product development, or the ones that are more specializing into circular economy. We have then, of course, the one related to style office. Here, most of the projects that we are working on, due to the fact that it's the field that it's the one that is more oriented to innovation, is the one of sportswear and activewear, but of course innovation might as well be related to other fields of fashion, such as, for example, streetwear or workwear, or for example accessory design. Then we have students that instead are more interested in working on production, and that might cover not only the final product, but also, let's say, going up in the value chains, the one that is more related to, for example, materials or binding techniques. So why choosing this master? So the idea of choosing this master is very much related both for professional outcomes, in the sense that we are, as I was saying, trying as much as possible to cope with the requests of the companies in the field, and really very much trying to orient our didactics to the industry needs. For the students that for the professionals who might be oriented and interested in deepening their knowledge on sustainability, for example, as well as the ones of you that are interested in integrating their competences with other fields. This is one of our most important features, I would say. We welcome diversity as much as possible, trying really to, as I was already saying before, tackle complexity through the collaboration of different professionals. So if you're interested in working in multidisciplinary teams and approaches, this can be an interesting master for you.
Thank you so much. Thanks. I would like to add some details about the application process for the next edition of Fashion Tech, which will begin in October 2026. On the Specializing Master webpage of the POLI.design website, you'll find the full list of required materials for the selection phase. By clicking on the Apply button, you'll be able to create your personal account and upload all the necessary files. The application will then be completed on the Politecnico di Milano website by uploading the documents related to your academic qualifications. If you need assistance during this phase, you can book a call by scanning the QR code. And there are too many steps to follow. As you can see, the selection step, which must be completed no later than 60 days before the course starting date, and then the enrollment step to be completed within 45 days. Please note that applications are processed in chronological order and spots are limited, so don't wait for the last minute. Additionally, by uploading your documents, you will already be eligible to attend the next round of interviews, scheduled for the 25th of March from 9 a.m. And you can find the course fee listed on this slide, along with our promotional policy designed specifically for this program, an initiative to support the design potential of those who choose POLI.design. In particular, I'd like to highlight the early bird promo with variable discounts until all places are filled, and the partial exemption of 15% in memory of Gianluca Spina, valid for applications received by the 17th of April 2026. Let's now move to the Q&A session, so I'll start by reading the questions we received in the chat. So the first question for you is, as a graduate in materials engineering, can I apply for this master, and which job profiles could I apply for after the master?
So of course you can apply, and actually you are like one of the kind of professionals that as we are a design school, we are very interested in having your perspective within such kind of masters. And of course, what you can do after is very much related to what you will want to do after, in the sense that there is a lot of space of people that are able to merge super technical skills, as in your case, with a creative perspective that you might be able to acquire once you come here and you develop those ones, no? So for sure, we even had students that had a very technical, an engineering background that then ended up in Decathlon, working in the creative setup, in the research and development. So it's very much also related to what he will want to or she want to end up doing. Also, one thing I would like to say, as we have here Mattia, that is one of our former students, if you have any questions or curiosity related to his background, you guys are super free and welcome to ask questions that might involve his perspective on the topic.
Of course, thanks. Second question then. Will the students have the chance to have visits or take part to fashion shows?
Yeah, of course. So we, can I go back or better not? Better not. So we usually have a lot of different visits during the master. So Mattia, maybe you want to elaborate more on this, on the kind of visits that you did, for example, during both this time as you are the tutor and also the last time, like when you were students, the kind of visits that you had the chance to do?
Yeah, exactly. So for sure there is the possibility, and actually in every workshop that we do, as Susanna explained very well before, we had the chance also, for example, literally yesterday we've been in Ducati with the current class of this year, and has been an amazing experience for sure. And so we have the possibility to go there, so to see maybe production as well, knowing people, also growing your network as well. So since Susanna said, the very important thing of this master is that it's aimed to the work field, so to find a job, and as well if you go on site, for sure you can learn a lot for that reason. So we've been in Ducati, for example, also to Politecnico, to showroom as well, not just production. So also to other companies as well. So yeah, there's for sure there will be many possibilities, not just one.
Great, thank you. Another question for you: should students know Italian to apply? Is it mandatory?
No, they should know English though. So English is mandatory. One thing that we suggest, also according to what is then your desire, will in terms of like work-wise, let's say, smaller companies, of course, in the interland know Italian more than English. So if you need to work with producers and everything, if you know Italian, is of course better. But for the master itself and then the possibility of being able to work, you need to know English for sure.
Okay, perfect. Which type of projects are developed during the program with the companies? Can I have some examples?
This is yours.
Yeah, for example, so this year as a first workshop we had the chance to work with Colmar. So for example, the brief was about creating jackets and pants for ski, for that environment. And as well, we had the chance to work as well with La Sportiva, so in the climbing field. So it's very diverse. The briefing, for sure, they are not all the same, and is actually is what is really good about this master as well. So as Susanna presented before, the different modules reflect as well the field where you will have to work on. So exactly, so for example, there was in my year as well, there was a specific module, so a specific workshop dedicated to workwear, because we was with U-Power, for example. So we had to work more on those gears, those elements, those fabrics, and as well garments for the workwear field. So For sure, brief could change, and for sure it's really good. And so the theme will change always. For example, we had the pleasure as well to work with Ducati. In that occasion, we had the chance, for example, to work on protective gear, so jackets as well. For sure, it's moreover about fabrics and textile and garments, but not only, since maybe we could work as well on wearable technologies and hypothesis on maybe future materials.
Thank you, that's very interesting. Another question is, should applicants know specific softwares?
Well, we try to suggest, as we are welcoming students for all kinds of backgrounds, we are very much elastic on that. But if I have to suggest, it's better if you know how to use the presentation softwares, I would say. So, because that might be beneficial for you in order to be able to present the projects and not stressing out too much about that. But as I was saying, we have some classes dedicated to the tools, so you might as well deepening the knowledge on those tools within the master, if I have to say.
Exactly. Yeah. For sure, knowing software, so hard skill as well, it's better to have it, but it's not a problem for sure. Though the basic ones should be better, but
yes,
there are specific modules about it. So.
Okay, great. And is this course also suitable for someone who has a degree in interior design but no background in fashion, for example? Do I need any specific skills? For example, do I need to know how to use certain software or how to make clothes?
No.
I can answer to this. For
Yeah,
example,
sure.
my background was in product design, so I always had the love in a way, but it was more a passion of fashion. And so, for example, my software, so the hard skill that I had was Rhinoceros, for example, or a little bit of Blender by myself, for example. But for example, Clo 3D, I learned it just in the master, directly everything in the master. So, for example, also if I have to think to parallel of product with interior design, maybe you can know how to use SketchUp or AutoCAD or, for example, Rhino as well. But it's not a limit. I'm so sure that it can help to way more for sure to know other software as well, also because in a way to another they are not the same, but the functionalities in a way one can have the other at the same. So if you come from interior, I wouldn't say that is a problem. It's not for sure a problem.
And actually, one thing I would like to add is that, first workshop is usually done individually, but then we try to have team projects and also mixing the students with different competences together. So we tend to have students that have, for example, a very technical background with students that have more design background or business background. So in order to create a setup that mix and matches the competences in an interesting way.
Yes.
Okay. And a participant asks, what is the commitment during the week?
That, Matti, I would like.
So for commitment, what does
how much time you need to address
okay, the effort.
The effort.
Okay. I mean, it's up to you for sure. So the more you work, the better result you will have for sure. It's kind of a busy program. I mean, not to do gaslighting, but in a way, it's not easy. But as well, if you like this word, for sure you will do it. For sure you can make it. But yeah, the effort. We have, for example, most of the time, maybe 3 days a week of presence lesson. But out of lesson, I would say that yeah, for sure you have some free days for sure. So yeah, it's up to you as well. It's
Okay.
up to how you want to finish this master, how you want to work on this master, in which way.
And there is a question related to that. In terms of classes, is it full-time or not every day?
Not every day. So each and every year, then, we ask students, of course, as to us it's super important to understand if we can fix things, even during the part of the master, even for the next edition. And so at the beginning was kind of packed. Then students told us, it's a bit packed. So we better have a few days off, for example, in between workshops, or just having 3 days a week instead of like 5 days a week all packed. So we managed to make it a little bit looser in terms of time commitment per week. So it's never gonna be every day all day, because it makes no sense also for you and for students to because they need also to process and work on projects on their own. But I wouldn't say, I would still say it's a full-time commitment in terms of actual commitment to the master.
Okay. So we don't have any other questions in the chat. So I thank you, Susanna, thank you, Mattia, for being here today. And thank you for joining us, and see you soon.